Welcome back to Westmoreland on the Gridiron. It is time to talk with our Week 4 Westmoreland Sports Network Player of the Week. He is Chase Lemke of the Franklin Regional Panthers. The junior completed 8 of 14 passes last week for 178 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, 2 on the ground, and a very impressive blowout victory of the Shaler Titans for the Franklin Regional Panthers. Chase, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. And we have a lot to get into. You know, Shaler comes into this game 4-0. You guys absolutely whooped them. Was it a case of really good practice this week or 2 weeks ago? What allowed you guys to have such a convincing victory over an undefeated team coming into Panther Stadium?
It was really, setting the tone, getting started early, out physical, and, getting both the passing and running game going with all my weapons, my offensive line, Aiden Hudock, Kyle DuPill, all those guys, getting them involved early, and didn't struggle very much and led to a nice victory that we needed.
You played some really good teams so far, Thomas Jefferson, Gateway, and now Shaler, but knowing that Shaler was undefeated, I mean, did you feel a little more excitement trying to prove that Franklin Regional is a pretty good team too coming into this game?
We did, and remembering what happened last year, we couldn't have that happen again. The double OT loss, it really just stuck in our hearts, and we came out flying and needed that win for the program.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game last year, so a little chip on your shoulder, I'm sure, as well. Do you feel that this was your best game personally as a starting quarterback?
I do, because came with limiting turnovers and controlling the ball on offense, and obviously the defense provided some points for me too. Austin Kearns had a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and we had an interception for a touchdown at the end of the game there. So all around, we just played a good game.
And when you see the defense doing that, that gives the offense a spark too, right? Like, hey, we got to keep up.
It does, yeah, of course.
Now, you had 2 touchdowns through the air, 2 touchdowns on the ground, as I mentioned, and normally when we interview our player of the week, something that I like to do is kind of say, like, what touchdown did you enjoy the most? What stuck out to you about a specific score, maybe the most? And can you kind of take us through it? So out of those 4, which one did you like the most? And can you kind of take us through the play?
I'm gonna have to say the first one. Setting the tone early. You got the ball first, just punching it right down their throats right from the beginning. It really set the tone, and we started running the ball early. First couple plays, ran the ball, and then we hit them over the top. One-on-one coverage. Aiden Hudock, obviously, he's going to make a play for me. So found him in open area, and he made a defender miss and punched it in for 6.
I want to talk about Aiden in a moment, but defensively, I know you don't get every snap. You don't play every snap on defense, but you do get some time over there. So defensively, you guys went up against a really good quarterback in Keegan Smetanka, and you didn't let him hurt you, certainly. What was the key on that side of the ball, do you think?
I think it was not letting up the deep ball because, as you said, he's been red hot coming into the game, over 1,000 yards passing, something like that, 18 touchdowns. I think the deep ball, not letting it up, really helped our offense and our defense kind of settle into the game and the environment.
You began the year with a really stiff challenge in Thomas Jefferson. We just saw they beat Bell Vernon. I mean, what a team TJ has this year. That was your first varsity start in week 0. So certainly a tough challenge for you, but what specifically have you learned? What has maybe become easier for you since that week 0 start? And then looking at the, start against Shaler.
I think just becoming more comfortable in the pocket, knowing my progressions and how to go through them and making the right read. And that also came with, coaching over time. Obviously, my coach Getzy, him being the head coach and offensive coordinator, obviously helps that out in a big way. And I think just the offensive line really settled in, and we're limiting turnovers, which is a big help.
Yeah. Do you feel more comfortable and confident, now that you've had a lot of snaps as a varsity starter?
I do, especially coming off last game. I felt real confident right from the start. I knew that we could have a big game if we limited turnovers.
Now, you mentioned Aiden Hudock earlier, 6 catches, 142 yards. You mentioned that touchdown. How much easier does it make your job that if you need a big play, you can go to him at any time? How much easier does that make playing quarterback?
Makes it a lot easier, especially since you find those open holes, and I know he'll always be a guy who will be there in the right spot at the right time. Big moments, he'll come in clutch for me, and that really helps me out as a first-year starter.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Roman Sarnik and Aiden obviously have that great connection, but it didn't seem like it took you guys too long to form a connection yourselves coming into this year. I mean, you've been putting up the numbers. He's been putting up the numbers. Seems like he put those numbers up right away. Would you kind of agree with that? It didn't take you guys very long?
I agree. We've had a bond over the last couple of years, and I think it just got a lot stronger this year. Him knowing that I was going to be the starter, and in practice we've connected a lot, and just overall on and off the field we've really connected and formed a bond that really helps during the games especially.
Talk a little bit about Kyle Dupil, who has had a really, really good season running the football. I'm sure that takes a little bit of pressure off you as well, right?
Yeah, him and Jude Gentilius fullback, I mean, it really helps having a run game that will affect the passing game later in the game, if not early in the game, knowing that they'll come out and run the ball hard. And our run game has been real solid. The line has helped that a lot.
Talking to our Week 4 Westmoreland Sports Network Player of the Week, Chase Lemke. Chase, I know this is a tough question for you to answer, but I got to ask it to you. You're a heck of a baseball player as well. As a matter of fact, last time we talked to you on the air, I think it was a couple of summers ago after you guys won the state Junior Legion championship with Coach Sadler there. So would you like to play a sport in college? I know you still have some time to kind of, make that decision. And would you be leaning towards baseball or football? Can you kind of let us in on what you might be thinking?
It's tough. I'm looking at my options still, but I enjoy baseball and football a lot, but I'm leaning more towards the baseball side of things. No offense, Coach, but baseball is my passion. But I obviously, when it comes to football season, I'm ready to go and ready to study the film and put all the work in that's needed.
Yep, you're focused on football now, and Coach Sadler will get you once it's over.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure it'll be an exciting year. We'll talk more Franklin Regional baseball when we get closer to it, Chase. What is your favorite part about playing for this team right now?
I think it's honestly just the bond that we all have. I mean, we've been playing most of these kids, and including me, have been playing together since, back in the midget days, and we've all had this bond since then, and it's just grown and grown and grown, and it's just amazing. I mean, playing with these guys is really fun on and off the field.
And I know you can only control your own destiny right now. A tough loss to Gateway, but anything can happen in this conference. So what's kind of your focus in terms of goals right now as we sit here?
It's focus on Plum, what they have to bring on defense and on offense, more the defense part for me since I'm a quarterback. And just we got to play more physical than them. They're obviously going to come out physical. It's a rivalry matchup, and we just got to put the work in practice and be ready for the game on Friday.
Yeah, I was going to ask you my final question to you here, Chase. Like, what do you kind of expect from Plum? Like, what have you seen from them on film that they like to do on defense? What do you guys have to do well on offense?
They really like dropping a lot of guys back in coverage, which I think is smart of them. But I think we could find holes that open up, and we can hit some passes here and there. And obviously, the run game's going to have to come out strong.
Well, Chase, get another victory on Friday against Plum. I know it's a big one, a conference game. Congratulations on winning Player of the Week. You're only a junior, so hopefully we'll do this again soon. All right.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. That is Chase Lemke, our Week 4 Westmoreland Sports Network Player of the Week. Coming up, we will preview Franklin Regional and Plum and all the games in Week 5 right after these messages on Westmoreland on the Gridiron.